This is it, folks. The end of an era. Spider-Man 3. Son of a bitch. Guys, Spider-Man 3 is directed by Sam Raimi, and everybody came back. Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, everybody. Let's just get through this thing, man. No one likes to step on a piece of shit and dwell on it again 10 years after the fact. You can hear the disappointment in my tone. Let's start with the good things, because there's very few of them. The Sandman is one of the best things about this movie. Thomas Hayden Church does a great job portraying this character. The birth of Sandman is one of the best things that this movie has to offer. When it comes to directing, a director's job is to show and not tell. And so this whole scene is just great. You get to see him build himself up. You get to learn what his motivations are. You got Danny Elfman score in the background. Like, it is a really, really good scene. But then the rest of the movie happens. I would be lying if I said that Black Suit Spider-Man is not the shit. Because Black Suit Spider-Man is the shit. And now we get to the bad. I told you it was very few. Why are there so many subplots in this movie? There are so many plots. I'm gonna try and lay them all out for you. Sandman, he's trying to get money for his sick daughter. Harry Osborn, he's trying to get back at Spider-Man. Then he gets I'm trying not to curse as much. And then he gets amnesia, the stupidest shit you could ever write. We spend like 45 minutes of this movie and Harry doesn't even remember what happened in the previous two movies. So we're just backtracking essentially. If it was up to me, Harry would have been the goddamn main villain in this movie. Like, it seems like that would be what the trilogy is leading up to. In the first one, Peter kills the Green Goblin. I mean, he doesn't kill him, but Harry thinks he kills him. And so in Spider-Man 2, Harry has all this animosity towards Spider-Man and towards Peter, but then he finds out that Spider-Man is Peter, and he doesn't know what to do until his father is like, "Avenge me! Avenge me! No!" And so you would think, by the time we get to this third movie, shit is gonna go down. It's just regular story structure. Like, that's just how it goes. That is just the natural flow of events. But instead, we get 45 minutes of Harry not remembering shit, and then he remembers shit, and then he's bad for 20 minutes. I want to talk about this stupid-ass scene. He meets up with Peter in a diner, because he remembers that he is remembering stuff now, but Peter doesn't know that. And so he tells Peter that him and MJ have a thing. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And so Peter, he's walking out of the diner and he turns around and James Franco, he looks at him and winks, and Peter's like, oh shit, he remembers, and a garbage truck passes by and Harry is gone. I'm like, is this nigga Batman? Like, what the fuck? How? He's probably just hiding under the table. Get in there and kick his ass. Jesus Christ, man. Harry should have been the main villain of this movie. And when we talk about villains, why are there so many of them? Harry, Sandman, Venom. If you're gonna put Venom in a movie, just make it Spider-Man versus Venom. Shit, if Harry would have gotten the Venom symbiote, oh my god. What a good final fight that would be, or what a good twist it would be if we get Black Suit Spider-Man and then he's trying to take it off, but then the symbiote gets onto Harry and then Harry turns into Venom, and then our final fight is between Spider-Man and Venom. That would have been the shit. But, you know, it fucks with the mythology. You know, the fans are gonna go crazy. Hell, I probably would have went crazy when I was a kid, but nowadays, seeing how the way the movie turned out, shit. I would have taken anything. Now, in these first two movies, we had all-star casting, but I don't know who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to cast Topher Grace as Venom. That is some of the stupidest shit I have ever heard. Fucking Eric Foreman as Venom. Are you shitting me? You've got to be kidding me. Not even that. It's just, they just tack them on at the beginning of the third act. And I want to talk about the subplots again. Like, we got Peter and his love life. It's failing. Spider-Man and Sandman. Spider-Man and Harry Osborn, they're trying to figure their shit out. Eddie Brock and Peter Parker trying to compete over a staff job, because that's what I need in my Spider-Man movie. Two people fighting over a desk job. Spider-Man fighting his inner demons and shit because he has the black suit on, which, you know, I get that. It's, you know, that's what the black suit does. But I don't need emo Peter Parker. I do not need emo Peter Parker, not one bit. I get it. I get emo Peter Parker, but I do not need it. Not one bit. He's standing in the mirror and he just... I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to just completely put Whiteout over Spider-Man's origin story and have Sandman kill Uncle Ben instead of the original guy. It takes all the wind out of the sails from the first movie. We literally spend like half this movie just backtracking shit from the last two movies. We are just going through events that we have already been through. It's exhausting because this movie is 2.5 hours long, and we're just sitting watching shit that we've already seen. Apparently the studio really wanted to have Venom in the movie, you know, to get extra ticket sales and shit, and Sam Raimi, he did not want it, which kind of makes sense when you watch the movie, because when you look at Sandman's character, there is plenty of depth. You know his motivations, you know his backstory, you know everything about Sandman by the time you get to the end of the movie. Venom, on the other hand, is just like, he's just thrown in there in the last like 25 minutes. Venom is the worst part about this movie. Granted, we get Black Suit Spider-Man out of it, which is some tight shit, but Venom is by far the worst part about this movie. He doesn't have any kind of motivation at all. He just wants to kill Spider-Man because he got the fucking desk job. It's stupid. It is so stupid. Like, it's irritating. It pisses me off. You know how I feel about the first two Spider-Mans. Why would they do this to me with the third one? Fuck. I don't need 10 minutes of Peter Parker dancing. Why was 10 minutes of this film devoted to Tobey Maguire just... Ironically, it is my mom's favorite part of like any superhero movie. I didn't know if I was laughing because of how bad it was, or if I was laughing because it was genuinely funny. I think I was just laughing because I was just like, what were they thinking? That scene in the jazz club where Peter, he whips his jacket and all the air hits Gwen Stacy in the face. It's just whew, and she's just Even when they were shooting it, you don't think there was one guy on set like, hey, you know this shot with Peter sliding across the dance room floor on a chair? Yeah, I don't think that's the best idea. Speaking of Gwen Stacy, why is she in this fucking movie? Granted, she drew a divide between Peter Parker and Mary Jane, but shit, Harry already did that, so why the hell did we need that some more? Somewhere deep down in this movie, there's a theme about forgiveness, because, you know, Peter has to forgive the Sandman for killing his Uncle Ben. Mary Jane has to forgive Spider-Man for oh my god, hold on. Why is there a scene of domestic violence in this movie? Peter slaps the living shit out of Mary Jane. Two things I don't need in future Spider-Man movies. Domestic violence and 10 minutes of Spider-Man dancing down the street or dancing in a jazz club. Like, it is absolutely mind-blowing, some of the shit that happens in this movie. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's the worst superhero movie of all time or like it's the worst film ever. There's decent stuff in there, like there's some decent action scenes. Nothing better than Spider-Man 2, but there's some decent action scenes in there. Is it the worst superhero movie ever? No. Is it a good movie? No. You still got your X-Men Origin Wolverines and your Hulks out there, so there's worse things out there. But is this a good movie in any sense of the word? No. This is one of the most disappointing superhero movies of all time. It's like the people who saw the original trilogy of Star Wars, they came back to see Phantom Menace, and they got out of the theater like, that was good, right? That was something. Guys, Spider-Man is a D-. I didn't have it in my heart to give it an F. The only reason this movie does not get an F is because of Black Suit Spider-Man and Sandman. That is it. Those are the only saving graces about this movie. You might be asking yourself, Fox, why do you own a copy of Spider-Man 3? Well, it came with my PS3. Don't trip. Well, guys, I'm going to get Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 done at some point next week. But we got Spider-Man Homecoming. Let's not dwell on this negative ass shit. Let's get to the theater. Let's enjoy ourselves, and we're gonna hope and pray that this Spider-Man movie has been better than the last three, because ever since this movie, ever since Spider-Man 3, we have not gotten a single good Spider-Man movie. And I don't care what you have to say about Amazing Spider-Man. I really do not. The first one is garbage. The second one is decent at best. And that's the end of that. We'll get to that next week. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the shits, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye. The worst scene in this movie And it's when Harry's servant comes up and he is like, hey, just so you know, your dad killed himself. It was an accident, but you know, your dad killed himself. It wasn't Spider-Man's fault. It just makes you think, what the fuck have you been doing for the last movie and a half? Terrible. It is so bad. So bad.